Hi everyone, I'm Asune Sani from Iran. Today we are going to speak about quantitative research questions and hypotheses. In quantitative studies, investigators use quantitative research questions and hypotheses and sometimes objectives to shape and specifically focus the purpose of the study. Quantitative research questions research about the relationships among variables that the investigator thinks to know. They are frequently used in social science research and specifically in survey studies. Quantitative hypotheses, on the other hand, are predictions the researcher makes about the expected outcomes of relationships among variables. They are numeric estimates of population values based on data collected from samples. Testing hypotheses employs a statistical procedure in which the investigator draws inference about the population from a study sample. Hypotheses are used often in experiments in which investigators compare groups. Advisors sometimes recommend their use in formal research projects such as a dissertation or thesis as a means of stating the direction of a study will take. Objectives, on the other hand, indicate the goals or objective for a study. They often appear in proposal for funding, but tend to be used with less frequency in social and health science research. Because of this, the focus here will be on research questions and hypotheses. The use of variables in research questions or hypotheses is typically limited to three basic approaches. The researcher may compare groups on an independent variable to see its impact on a dependent variable. This would be an experiment or group comparisons. Secondly, the investigator may relate one or more independent variables to one or more dependent variables. This would be a survey that correlates variables. Third, the researcher may describe responses to the independent, mediating, or dependent variables. This would be a descriptive study. Most quantitative research falls into one or more of the three categories. The most rigorous form of quantitative research follows from a test of a theory and the specification of research questions or hypotheses that logically flow from the relationship among variables in the theory. The independent and dependent variables must be measured separately and not measured on the same concept. This procedure reinforces the cause and effect or logic of quantitative research. To eliminate redundancy, write only research questions or hypotheses, not both, unless the hypothesis built on the research questions. Choose the form based on tradition, recommendations from an advisor or faculty committee, or whether past research indicates a prediction about outcomes. If hypotheses are used, there are two forms, null and alternative. A null hypothesis represents the traditional approach. It makes a prediction about that in the general population, no relationship or no significant difference exists between groups on a variable. The second form, popular in journal articles, is alternative or a directional hypothesis. The investigator makes a prediction about the expected outcome, basing this prediction on prior literature and studies on the topics that suggest a potential outcome. For example, the researcher may predict that the scores will be higher for group A than for group B, and the dependent variable or that group A will change more than group B on the outcome. Another type of alternative statement is the non-directional hypothesis. prediction is made, but the exact form of difference, that is higher, lower, more, less, is not specified because the researcher does not know that can be predicted from past literature. Okay, thank you for your listening. If you have any question, please don't hesitate me and support and subscribe our channel with inviting your friends. Thank